as I was telling you, the story, to be able to write a story, and every single story has 3 different parts, okay? We've got the beginning, which is basically an introduction to our story. It tells us a little bit, maybe where it takes place, okay? Maybe just naming the characters, yeah? Then we've got the middle part of the story, yeah? What could the middle part of the story tell us? If the beginning is just giving us a general description, and it's giving us maybe something about the characters, okay? What can the middle part give us? Well, the middle part is super important, guys. The middle part is where everything happens, okay? Where the problem happens, and most of the time where the solution of that problem happens as well, okay? So for example, it's when, I can't remember any story now, but for example, I can invent a story that says something like, okay, and the prince went and had to fight against a dragon for the princess, yeah? So the prince goes and fights against the dragon, and he's fighting, and all of a sudden the dragon jumps on him, right, and he fights back, okay? That is the middle part. Yeah? Got it? Okay. And the ending part. The ending part is the going out of the story, leaving the story, okay? We know where it took place, because at the beginning they tell us where it takes place, okay? And we've got the middle, where the problem and the solution go on, and they're fighting or not fighting, depending what's happening, okay? And the ending is when we know at the end what happens. So if in the middle the prince was fighting with the dragon to save the princess, and this one attacked and that one attacked back, in the end, probably the information would be like, who was the winner of that fight? And the prince won the battle with the dragon, and he saved the princess, and they went riding on a beautiful horse to the castle, okay? Or maybe the dragon won. They fought and fought and fought, and the dragon ate, right? The prince. Or the dragon won the battle. So that means that now, ending part of the story, now the dragon is the super, super duper hero of all times in that town. Okay? So, who can tell me? How many parts in a story? Well done. We've got 3 different parts. Who can name them for me? Do you remember? I just have the first letter here. Okay, beginning, the middle, and the end. Okay? Okay, very fast. What happens in the beginning? Very short introduction, maybe where it takes place, maybe some of the characters, right? Good. Middle part. Full action. Everything, not everything, but most of the things happen in the middle part. That middle part is super important, okay? It's where like the explosions happen, okay? And the ending part as well as important, and the rest of the parts. Because if not, we wouldn't have 3 parts if they weren't important, the 3 of them, right? And the ending part closes the story, tells us maybe the ending part of the problem and the solution, right? And it closes the story in a very nice way, or in a very pacific way, okay? So, what am I going to show you now before you guys have to write your own stories? Stories also, if you see me disappearing from the camera, don't worry, I will be back. It's just that I need to fetch some things and I've got everything around here, okay? It's not that Miss Kim has disappeared. Okay, in stories, in the beginning of the story, right at the beginning actually, the stories start with special phrases. Oh, sorry, my whiteboard is falling down again. Here we go. They start with special phrases, okay? I'm sure you've heard of this one. I'm sure you've heard of once, sorry about that, once upon a time. This is a typical one, yeah? Once upon a time in a far, far world, there was, and the story continues. Yes or no? Maybe you've heard as well, many years ago. That's another opening phrase for stories. Many years ago, in a land far, far away, Shrek starts like that. For those of you who have seen Shrek or have Shrek books, always, many years ago or once upon a time, yeah? There are many, many phrases, but these are the most common ones, yeah? Maybe we could invent, we're not inventing it, but in far, far away country, world, place, okay? And from there you continue telling your story. Once upon a time in a beautiful forest, you see, beginning, explaining where we are. There was a beautiful princess named Kim. See, beautiful princess. And a wonderful prince named Peter. Okay? As I told you before, beginning tells us where it's taking place and a little bit of the characters. So now we know it's in a forest and that there's a prince and a princess. Yes? Okay. After that, what part comes? The middle part. Well done. Okay? So once upon a time in a beautiful forest, there was a beautiful princess called Kim and a wonderful prince called Peter. Okay? And they met a great big bad wolf. Problem, remember, middle, okay? Okay, these guys have a problem now. So how are these guys going to solve this problem? They meet this big bad wolf in the middle of this beautiful forest. And the wolf wants to eat the princess. And the prince doesn't know what to do. But all of a sudden, a big bear appears and he jumps on the wolf. And the wolf is so scared that he runs away. There we've got part of the middle and a bit of the ending, right? Now that the wolf has gone away, the princess and the prince are happily again. And they can go on their way happily riding on their beautiful horse, elephant, lion, if you want. Their stories. You can say whatever you want in stories, remember? Okay? And they lived happily forever after. Okay? Don't forget. Stories. 3 parts. Beginning, middle, and end. Yes? 3 parts. Using super cool opening phrases. Once upon a time there was a blah blah blah. Many years ago there were, and you carry on, and in a far, far away land you can find, and you continue with your story. Yes? So, what do I want you guys to do now? Right? I want you to invent your own story, but don't forget, capital letter at the beginning, full stop at the end of things, yes? And not only that, what do we have to remember about the stories? They've got 3 different parts. The first one explaining the place where it is and the characters. The second one, the problem, the complicated part of the story. And the last one, the one that concludes, that closes the story. I sent you a paper where there is a drawing. Yeah? The idea at the beginning was that if you can use that drawing, so you can start a story from that drawing. But if you guys prefer not to use the drawing and to invent anything, okay, any kind of story, please invent it yourselves. Please don't write about Shrek or Sleeping Beauty or anything like that. Try not to make a known story, okay? I want to see how you guys can invent super cool stories. And the idea is that when we come back, we all share. If you can send them to me, that would be lovely. That would be amazing, so I can see them. Yeah? So I can see how you guys are doing. And I'm going to make a folder with your things. And when we go back, we're going to have a storytelling morning, okay? But with your stories, not the library ones, okay? So, what do we have to do? Writing a story. Super cool opening sentences, remember? And beginning, middle, and end. And the closing part, yes? So, that is our final work for English today. Remember, if you can, you send them to me. If not, that's okay. But try and make an effort and send me your things. Send pictures or ask mommy and daddy to send them by the computer, please. Okay, so hope to see you soon. Bye.